Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at the MPC One Plus, which is the successor to the original MPC One, which I bought basically when it first came out. This one was sent to me from Akai, so thank you very much Akai for sending it over. No money was exchanged hands, and they have no input or say as to what goes into this video. So with that legal disclaimer out of the way, let's talk about this unit. So let's get the high level stuff that's different out of the way. Obviously it has a red skin color. If you've been looking for a red MPC that's got this like crimson plastic Mattel red type of thing going on, you're in luck. The MPC One Plus has it going on for you. The other big things is it has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. The original MPC One, which I have right here, this guy you can only connect to the internet via the Ethernet cable. So over the past 3 years, Akai has been releasing plugins for their platform, and they have to be authorized. And in order to authorize, you have to be connected to the internet. So in order to authorize any plugins on the original MPC One, you have to plug in an Ethernet cable and then do the authorization process, or even any updates or anything like that. That has been a pain in the ass so long as you actually use the plugins. If you don't use the plugins or don't care about updates, then it's no big deal really. But with this new MPC, you now have wireless connectivity to the internet. But you also don't have an Ethernet cable anymore. They kind of just walled it off right there. That's kind of your first clue. This isn't really a Mark II or an evolution of an MPC One. It's more of a mid-product, mid-life refresh. Basically, some components probably weren't available, or maybe they were cheaper or something like that. And so they did a refresh and were able to add things that the other MPCs had that the original one did not have. It's a nice bump. You got Wi-Fi, you got Bluetooth. They increased the internal storage to 16 gigabytes. And that's pretty much the big notes right there from what's different from the original MPC. Again, this is not a Mark II, so don't be thinking that like, oh man, this is the next evolution of an MPC One. It's really just an MPC One with some niceties added that it needed. Also, those niceties help bring it in line with what the current product line is doing. And note, it is not increasing the memory to 4 gigs. So that is not like a feature that they're suddenly adopting across all their boxes. It still is just 2 gigs of RAM, but with the increased internal storage from 4 gigabytes to 16 gigabytes. Now, personally, and pretty much everybody on the internet will tell you, don't use the internal storage because it's screwed things up in the past if you have used internal storage. And also if you plug in a USB cable to your computer and try to get access to the internal storage on here, you can't. You have to do a bunch of juggling. You have to try to copy stuff over to like a SD card, which I have plugged in right here, and then move files back and forth that way if you want to actually shuttle stuff. It is not recommended to use that internal storage for your personal files. It's like, hey, they increased the internal storage for additional plugins potentially, or assets that they might be adding to the software. So that's nice. Which means that potentially the MPC One, the original one, this guy right here, could have some features deprecated if you can't actually fit all the features needed onto the 4 gig internal space. Whether that happens anytime soon, I have no idea. They are clearly upgrading and adding more to the operating system as time has gone by. As an owner of the MPC One from basically the first month or so when it came out, it's changed dramatically over the past 3 years. 3 or 4 years? Can't remember exactly. I feel like it's been about 3 years. From supporting USB MIDI to supporting USB audio interfaces to, again, more plugins, but like the drum synth that came out. We now have the Jura plugin that just came out today. We have the Mini D. There's a lot of great stuff in here, and the platform has clearly been expanding over time. So the biggest thing for me is that Wi-Fi access. That really does make this significantly more convenient in the studio. Because again, having to shuttle around an Ethernet cable everywhere, kind of annoying. It also means that you can easily connect to Ableton Link as well. So if you go to menu, go to sync, and then scroll on over to Ableton Link, you can now link up in Ableton and be connected via Wi-Fi, which is really awesome. And also if I had the driver installed on my computer, I could go into the control, but I don't have the driver installed for that. But Ableton Link is really slick to be able to sync up any Ableton boxes or Ableton sessions with an MPC. One more thing that you do get that I forgot to mention with the purchase of an MPC One Plus is you do get a coupon for one of the plugins that's available. You won't be able to purchase Fabric XL with that coupon, but everything else is available. So you can get the Mini D or OPX4 or the Jura plugin or Air Flavor Pro. Air Flavor Pro, Mini D, and Jura are basically my favorites right now. They're fantastic. You could get the Air Delay Pro as well, but that's only like 39 bucks. You might as well get a plugin that's more expensive with your coupon, assuming you do buy one of these new. But yeah, back to people who already own an MPC One. If you're looking for a reason to upgrade, the only real reason I see is the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth is nice because you can actually hook up Bluetooth MIDI type of keyboards, which I don't have in the studio. I realized afterwards, I was like, I don't have anything that I can actually demo Bluetooth MIDI with this. You can also hook up a wireless keyboard as well. I could show that real quick. So I went in preferences, connected via Bluetooth, and now if I try to edit a track name, nice, I can do that. Another thing that's actually really nice that I found out recently about is you can actually hold the shift button on a keyboard to be able to do some stuff. Okay, so I just made some MIDI notes real fast, and you see this. If you were to try to hold shift on here, you can't shift and select multiple notes, but you can hold shift on a keyboard. Let me make sure this is in the shot. You can hold shift right here, and now I can get multiple pieces of MIDI. It's kind of a weird thing that like you can't select like that on the box. It's kind of an MPC quirk, really. Hopefully that changes in the future, so there's an easy way, like just holding shift to be able to get different notes selected. So if you're a current MPC One owner and you need Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, the MPC One is your option. If you don't like the red skin, gonna have to wait for a different color. I'm sure other colors are gonna come out, you know, because they've been doing the retro skin and gold skin, like, you know, different stuff. I actually prefer the black skin. I think that looks nice, especially for a studio. If your studio is like all white or something like that, then this might stick out. And I'm sure if you're really serious about changing the look, you could get some after kit type of skins for it. But anyways, that's besides the point. If you're new to MPCs though, and you're looking to get into like a standalone hardware type of setup, you know, DAW-less, which is one of those terms that get thrown around a lot, the MPC One Plus is honestly an excellent starting point. And it's pretty affordable, all things considered, when you look at the whole market that's out there. $700. Ableton just announced the Push 3 standalone. That's $2,000. Huge discrepancy right there. Granted, they have a better CPU and there's interchangeable parts and all that stuff, and it's in the Ableton ecosystem. The MPC One is honestly one of the best values that you can get to get into a standalone hardware sampling type of environment that can also control all of your synthesizers as well, because it's a fantastic sequencer. It's extremely flexible. You can do lots of tracks. You know, you have a lot of MIDI resolution to work with. You can do timing on and off. You know, you can have 100% timing, or you can adjust your strength or turn it completely off, or do the swing values and all that stuff. So a huge amount of control that's basically like a DAW essentially, but it is in this MPC ecosystem, and it's really easy to start making beats. So for instance, if I go browse, I haven't updated this, by the way. This is basically what it came in the box, and I think the operating system was 2.11.7 is what it came with. So I haven't downloaded anything from the internet to update it or anything like that. If you want to get some sounds that are already in the internal drive, you hit the browse button. You go browse, and then you're in your general browser to find samples, kits, and different various MPC type of things related. If you go expansions over here, you'll see MPC One content and then demos and templates. So if you click on the content, you can scroll through the stuff. If you want to hear this, you press audition and click auto. I think auto's usually off on there. You can go through, check out some stuff. You can always double tap stop if you want to kill any sound that's coming out of the box. But if you want to search for stuff, like let's say trap. Let's see what's in trap. By the way, I believe it's time stretching. Yeah, warp. So you could turn off warp as well to hear exactly. So I grabbed two kits in here, this hip hop kit and this trap kit. Obviously it's a sampler, so sampling things is what most people are probably going to want to do with it, you know, bringing in your own sounds and all that. That's pretty much what I do all the time. I hooked up an OP1 to be able to get some sounds. Not that I'm promoting the OP1, because I don't think the OP1 field is worth buying. Just throwing that out there. But I have had the OP1 for a long time. We're going to use it as just a source to sample some stuff, just to show the example. But in the meantime, we can make like a kit real quick. Maybe we'll go like 135. maybe 140. By the way this is set up is sequences. Sequences are essentially loops or full loops that control all the instruments. So you could have a sequence that's 4 bars, then you could have a sequence that's 8 bars, you could have a sequence that's like 100 bars as well, or 1 bar. So you have this flexibility of setting up these blocks of song parts and then putting them all together into one master sequence if you're gonna finish something. Right now, I'm in sequence 1. This is pretty much how I always start a beat. I usually want 4 bars, typically. So let's just record something. So right now my timing correction is at 100%, so it's 100% quantizing everything that I play. A lot of the times I like to turn it down to 50 to get a little more looser timing with it. I'm gonna go to another track, selected the track, scroll over to track 2, it says unused, which means that there's no MIDI information in there. Let's play these. So the hats are a little loose now. You know, they're not 100% quantized on there. But the kick and snare from before on track 1 is quantized. Now let's go into the sampler. So there's a dedicated sampler button. If you just press that, you go into the sampler page and you have your options for your input. You can also hit this button to monitor the signal. You have a knob in the back to control how much gain for the input. So this fader you can set for your threshold, and whenever it hits a signal, then it'll start recording. So now all we gotta do is hit arm, and then I can play a note. We'll go the C right here. Great. OP1 pluck, I actually already tried naming something OP1 pluck, so it's in there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll it to program 01, and then I'm gonna select a pad. So you can choose a pad where you wanna put it. So I'm gonna put it at A01 for now, and then I'm gonna say keep, then hit main. In track 3, if I scroll over to program 001, I have that sample. But that's it. Can't do anything else with it. So what I wanna do is hit program edit, and under this, as long as this is selected, I can hit this icon up here, and then it explodes it into a key group. Now, the pads currently are not reflective of anything that's useful from a musical point of view, and that's very easy to fix. You hold shift and you press 16 levels because there's notes underneath here, and then you're in the notes page. The notes page is great because you could select notes and then you could tell it what key and scale that you want. So I'm gonna say A minor. And then with the bank, you can actually choose lower octaves. And that actually sounds pretty cool like that. Let's record this. By the way, if you do plan on picking up an MPC One or any MPC or any gear for that matter, and you do want to support the channel beyond a like and subscribe, then consider using our affiliate links. Our affiliate choice is Zounds. We've been using them for years, and that is our go-to recommendation. So if you use our affiliate links through Zounds, then it helps out the channel. Now I'll show you a different method for sampling. So let's go to a kit here. That's too loud. Yeah, we'll use this. So we're gonna get multiple hits and save it basically in one file. So once again, I hit arm, and then I just start tapping through the hits. That's enough. Oh, actually I hit the limit. I forgot, you can adjust the timing on there as well. So this one we're gonna call OP1 drums. Like so, and we are going to, we're just gonna keep it. We're not gonna assign it to anything. Actually, we're gonna edit it. OP1 drums, there we go. Now this is where it's super convenient. If you just do threshold, it'll pretty much find all those hits. So I have this like muffled sounding drum kit, and all I do is hit shift, convert, and it says new drum program using the slices. Yes, that's what I want. Now I'm in track 5 right here. I'm going to close this. Something that I haven't described yet is this section right here. This is the main module section where the tracks hold their data. Right now it's in the key group track or the key group type. You can switch it to the plugin type, which are sounds that the MPC generates. It's not sample based. I mean, it can be sample based, but essentially synthesizer generation or synthesis happens in those plugins right there. And then you have drum programs, and drum programs is where I just made the OP1 drums. Before this session balloons into an hour-long video, I think I'm going to call it right here because obviously the MPC is very powerful and the MPC One Plus is a fantastic entry point into this ecosystem right here. So if you're new to the MPC and you want to get in, I mean, the One Plus is definitely my recommendation right there. If they got different colors down the road, great. You can kind of pick and choose. If red is your thing, then even better. If you're wanting a black one, the original MPC One, I would actually say you should wait until there's a actual One Plus that has a color that you like in there. Or go with the Live 2 that is more expensive. If you are a current MPC One user, I don't think there is much reason to upgrade. So I would recommend against that, unless of course you need the Wi-Fi access, because that does give you easy updates for the operating system. Also gives you the activations for the plugins easily. You can also use Splice as well. So if you're a big fan of Splice and the Ableton link and all that, there is benefits to it for sure. But if you're not using those benefits, then I would definitely stick with the MPC One right now. It is possible that in a year or two, the operating system could balloon beyond what the current 4 gig internal space allows. So that is a consideration that you need to think about, but as it is right now, there's nothing stopping you from just keeping your MPC the way it is and using it until it eventually breaks or needs repairs or something like that. That's my recommendation. If you're a current MPC One user, you could probably just ignore this unless you really need that Wi-Fi. Now, personally, I was expecting to see some future refresh type of stuff in the MPC format. So I was a little disappointed to see that it wasn't like a Mark II, but understanding that is just a kind of like a mid-life product recycle, I was like, okay, it makes sense for them to just put in Wi-Fi and all that. So I could look at it from that point of view and be like, if they're discontinuing the original MPC One and now they're just selling this MPC, then yeah, like awesome that they're putting this stuff in there, and you might as well just pick this up if you're new to the platform. If you're looking for a review of the Jura plugin, I do have that on the channel as well. It should have dropped today. So if you're watching this video today when it dropped, the Jura plugin review should be out as well. So go take a look at that if you're curious about it, if it's worth spending 75 bucks for a Juno recreation inside an MPC. I also have a video comparing the MPC One, Live 2, and the Key 61. So if you're curious about that, check the back catalog of videos. And again, if you want to support the channel beyond a like and subscribe, consider using our affiliate links. Even if you just pick up cables, it definitely helps out. Thank you very much. But that's it for this video. Thanks for making it to the end. I do appreciate that, and I'll see you next time for another one. Peace.